All right, let's talk about how Microsoft is going to be selling Bing over to Apple as the Google replacement. Okay, but first of all, I do want to state that because this is not exactly really properly in the advanced stages of discussion. Right now, this is basically just out for debate. They're still in the just exploration territory where they're not really coming into the terms and conditions just yet. But it is definitely up for debate. So today I do want to talk a little bit more about how this would actually create a different environment for Microsoft and Apple as two different companies that is taking up a lot of market shares in the industry at the moment. So I'm pretty sure that you all already know about Apple, okay? Biggest company in the world right now, around $3 trillion in market cap, but slightly came down a little bit now at about $2.67 trillion in market cap after the sell-off in the S&P 500 and such in the recent days. So, Bing being the product of Microsoft that Microsoft actually created to rival against Google. But of course, that did not really come off as any form of a resistance against Google because at the end of the day, for all the searches that actually amounts to it, Bing only took up less than 10% of all the searches that has been done in the previous decade. So, of course, Google being this very strong monopoly of a candidate, I think it's pretty hard for Google to actually fall because it's so easy that it is already a household name for all of us to say, just go and Google it. Okay, we don't go and say, go and search it up on the internet. No one does that anymore. You're gonna say, go Google it. Hey, just Google this, just Google that. Okay, no one's gonna say, search it up. Okay, so Google being this huge monopoly of a candidate in the searching industry at the moment, what Apple can actually bring to the table is the vast amount of audience that's actually using their products, the iPhones, the iPads, the MacBook. So, of course, there's going to be two different stages that Apple would have to ensure Microsoft had to bring up to the table first. First of all, they have to sell Bing at a reasonable pricing before Apple actually bothers to actually take this into consideration. Because the moment Apple actually takes in Bing, they're not gonna just start to just push Bing as the algorithmic search engine for everyone. That's not going to be the case because Bing is still pretty bad. There's a huge reason why everyone prefers Google over Bing. So of course, it kind of makes sense that you wouldn't just let Apple would not just buy Bing and just be like, okay, everyone start to use your default browser, your default search engine as Bing. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so what Apple is most likely going to be doing is they're going to be buy over Bing and then restructure Bing and then recreate this super duper good search engine algorithmic SEO stuff with Bing to make sure that it actually rivals Google this time. And of course, after doing so, they would then just kind of just implement it into all the different devices that's already on our hand, on our wrist, on on our iPads, our MacBook, our iMac, whatever it is. So that's what Apple would have to do in order for them to actually kick Google down. So of course, if that actually happened, of course, I do want to state this all over again. This is all hypothetical situation. If that actually happened, I do see Google just dropping in market share quite massively. Okay, reason being is that currently Google honestly only have the entire Google Ads as its main model of revenue. Everything else that Google actually have actually goes into R&D. A lot of expenditure, not a lot of revenue. And if Google is going to be losing such a huge player with so many devices in the whole entire world using your rivaling product, that's going to be hurting Google a lot. And let's not forget, we're not talking about just some random phone company that has like 10 million users. We're talking about the biggest company in the world with the most products in all the consumers' hands that is addicted to the environment. addicted to the technical environment that Apple produces and provides. So I think that's going to be a different ball game for Apple to do so. And let's not forget that because Apple is not going to be using Bing as part of like another different software, they are like leasing the software, they're actually going through a commission base with the software. It's not going to be the case. Apple is going to be buying over the software and using it. So there is not going to be any conflict of interest whatsoever for Apple to fully push this in front of all their consumers' eyes. So I think if that were to happen, Google, you might actually see a little bit of pushback. Of course, right now this is all just talking about a possible deal. And the thing is that this was actually talked about earlier in 2020 as well. Chances of this actually happening is close to like 10% at best. We're not even thinking that this is actually happening. People are still talking about how this idea is still in discussion at the moment. I don't think there's going to be that big of a shift. Right now, even though when you're on your Apple phones, chances are you are either using Chrome or you're using Safari. And a lot of time when you're doing any sort of searches, you're most likely going to be in Google. Because for myself, when I'm using my phone, I don't surf on Safari, I surf on Google Chrome, which is a lot easier. Everything is on my Chrome. My computer, I use Chrome, so I get all my data, all my cookies, all my cache, whatever thing it is, and that's all going to be linked up together, okay? I love this technical coherence when all the environment is linked up together. I love that kind of thing, okay? I gobble that shit up. Okay, which is why I love Apple. And you know, if Apple were to suddenly make this shift over to Bing, I can really foresee Google share price, first of all, gonna get affected the most. Afterwards, it's gonna be affected with a revenue. And of course, with lesser people buying into the company as well. And we're also getting into the stage of where we're all fighting with AI now. And that means that, you know, everyone's going to be spending even more money on AI development, you know, AI exploration. People are going to advance their AI technology. And all that is going to cost a lot of money on R&D. So, of course, I don't think this is going to be a good time for Google to spend so much money when there is a possible move for a rivaling company to actually get taken over, especially Apple being the company that's going to be doing that. So yeah, I think that's going to be quite interesting for us to really see what's going to happen with this whole entire thing. Again, I do want to reiterate again, I don't think this is going to be happening simply because I don't see why Apple would want to do so. It's too risky. The risk to reward is not high. The only reason why they will want to do so is because they want to go against Google. They want to ensure Google is not this huge monopoly. But other than that, risk to reward doesn't really sound fantastic, and a lot of people are not. It's quite indifferent to Bing. Personally, for myself, if Apple actually changes their main search engine over to Bing, Bing better be absolutely crazy. Okay, Bing better be like nuts. Like it better be so good that I think that Google was a horrible experience. Otherwise, there's no reason for me to change from Google over to Bing. But yeah, you know, I thought that is a kind of interesting topic to talk about. But anyway, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye.